morning, guys. Laura here from Hedgehog's Homestead. How are you guys all doing this morning? Today, I thought since it's been so hot, I would share a little video with you. I'm already sweating outside. It's been in the hundreds here in Tennessee, or in the high to mid 90s, which with our humidity makes it 100. So everybody's feeling it. So we're going around and taking care of the animals this morning, and I thought I'd show you what I do to beat the heat. One of the first things I do with the chickens is I make sure that all of their water is topped off, and I make sure that that is topped off twice a day. Having fresh water for your chickens is cooler water. So I have a pool here for that they can swim in that's fresh and clean and cooler. I won't top that off twice, but what will I do is with their other waters, I will top those off twice a day so that they have cooler water to drink. Sometimes I'll even put ice in there. Another thing you can do, if you notice that you kind of have a chicken in distress, is that you can give them frozen peas or frozen vegetables. Peas is the best because peas is really good for them anyways. So frozen peas, any frozen vegetables that you can give them when it's super, super hot, especially, thank you, Andy, especially when they are in distress, is really good. I top off and I keep a major water source in the chicken coop at all times. So that's another thing I do. You can also do water bottles, frozen water bottles. Now to the point of rabbits. I have had rabbits in the past. One of the best things you can do for them is shade, shade, shade. So adding extra shade, at the same time making sure that there is a flow through their coops or through their cages. So, you know, maybe in the direct sun area, you block that sun, but on the other side, you keep it totally open because you want that airflow to be going through there. Stick a frozen water bottle in there for your rabbits. That will be... They're showing off now. That will be the best thing you can do for your rabbits, is put in that frozen water bottle. If they don't go to it, if they don't know it, put them up against it or put them around it. Especially if you see a rabbit in distress, they really have a hard time with the heat. And if they can't dig a hole to get into to beat the heat, they need something. So putting 2 water bottles, if you get those, little water bottles at the store, packing that around their body if they're really in distress will really help them. Making sure that there's ample shade for all of your animals. In my chicken coop, it kind of moves around. Like right now I'm in the shade. This is the outside. Plus there's a big enough area inside the coop as well that they can go into to get into the cool air. There's shade on this side of the coop and on this side of the coop. And later on, it will move to the back side of the coop. So there's always an area that they can go into for shade. One thing I forgot to put in my video as well is that you can use misters as well for your chickens, your ducks, your rabbits. Those misters work really well. In Oregon, it got up to 110, 112 for a couple of days. And that's what we used for our chickens and I had ordered those ahead of time. So if you're watching this video ahead of time, they're pretty inexpensive, like $15, $20 on Amazon. And you just plug it into a hose and it mists. I have some of those around, so if it gets really hot, I can hook that up to a hose and put it in either with my Cornish cross or my regular chickens, whoever needs it most. And it really works really well for chickens and Cornish cross. The mud hole works better for your pigs, but it also worked very well. I had two kinds. I had one that just kind of stepped up, and I found that the turkeys went under it the most. But I also used it to run along the side of the rabbit cages, and that worked really well too. Now for our piggies here, you can see that their water's filthy dirty. They have a little mud hole here, which they need to beat the heat. I have to clean this out. It's quite full, hold on. That pigs will beat the heat. Having a way to get into the mud and burrow around, they get that mud on them and it protects their back. You can see she's got mud on her back. And of course they go into it right away because it's hot already. She pees in it. Okay, anyways, I guess warm water is the same for pigs. You get warm water on your wrist, you know you got to go to the bathroom. So because they go in their water trough, I have to rinse it out really good. But if they have their mud hole, they don't go in their water trough as much. So I'm going to move this away from their mud hole. But that is a way that they beat the heat, is that they get into that mud. They also like to be sprayed off, some of them. These guys don't. But if you get your pigs used to being sprayed with water, that's a good thing, because you can spray them with the water to cool them off if they're in distress. But the same thing happens, you know, with all animals. If you have an animal in really bad distress, make sure you get them in the shade and get some really cold water or frozen water around them. Cool their body quickly so that you don't lose them. So I'm just cleaning this out. And of course I don't have a lot of good water pressure here on the homestead, so it takes us a minute. And then I'm going to move this into an area where they don't have it over here by their trough. But having all this mud in here will really help them beat the heat. Second to having a mud hole that they can cool off in to get out of the heat is the shade that they have in here. This shade house, basically their little house that they go into, has plenty of straw in it. They go into that at night, but they also can use it for shade during the day, which you'll find them laying in there or around there. They will lay around where it casts shade too. So, of course, there's all kinds of mud in the bottom. And this is why pigs get the notion that they're dirty, is because they make mud holes and get into the mud. They're only doing that to beat the heat. So, I mean, I always check the fence when I'm in here. They manure only in the back of their area here. They do not manure in this area where they're playing in the mud at all. That's how they are actually cleaner animals. So we'll let that fill up while I'm in here, and so they don't escape. And anyways, there's our little piggies. You can see the mud on her back, and they have it too. Mud is a natural sunscreen for them, and that's how they protect their skin from this hot sun. It also keeps them very cool. I gotta watch it with this little lovely. She likes to give me a little taste. She has never broken my skin, but she just likes to just taste me every once in a while. And when she gets close, if I just touch her nose, she will back off. I don't have to yell or scream. It just kind of gives her the signal, because their noses are very sensitive. You just touch it and they'll back off. Or if you have a little shaker, like you can get a can and fill it with little rocks, they will back off from that too. I have one of those, but I haven't used it yet. I found that just touching their nose at this time is good enough. And of course they want to nibble on the hose. That's the problem about leaving it in here. And this is why I stay in here, because they will play with the hose. So, okay you guys, so there you go. Now they have their wallow where they can cool off. They have some fresh water. I'm only going to fill it up that much. And then this afternoon, if I notice that it's really, really hot again, I'll refresh that water. When I come out and give them their evening feed, I feed them twice a day. And so that's how we take care of that. And now let's get over to the meat. Okay guys, so you guys can see these Cornish cross in here. They're not hot right now, but we're gonna move them in a minute. So they have plenty of water. Oh. I really like that coop because you can see inside the whole time you're moving it, and it just makes it so easy. Okay, now for my Cornish cross. I do recommend that you have plenty of airflow through any chicken coop. That will help them beat the heat. So if they go inside, that airflow, just a little bit of breeze can make a huge difference. If you look inside this cage here, or their tractor, you can see that they have plenty of shade. More than half of that area, as the sun has moved over, is shaded, and almost 50% of it will be shaded for the whole day. I don't have too many chickens where some of them are forced out into the sun as well. Making sure that they have water at all times of the day. And by adding fresh water about 3 times a day, that will keep that water a little bit cooler. Making sure that you have, like you can see here, that water is in a shady area of the coop as well. So, and then if I had to, I could throw some water bottles, some frozen water bottles, just like you would with the rabbits that I was talking about earlier, in there as well. So, Cornish cross and any kind of meat bird that you have on farm will get really hot really quick. So you really want to make sure that you have plenty of shade and ample air movement around that chicken tractor. So it's just very important, guys. So remember that. And with your chickens in your brooder, just that little bit of extra, everybody's going to drink more water. Watch all your animals. Give them plenty of water, plenty of fresh water throughout the day, and keep them cool with ample air movement and ample shade. Thank you for watching today. And as always, God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time here on Hedgehog's Homestead. Bye.